And so, yes, perhaps a surprising piece of Swedish culture. Have you heard about this, John?
I have, actually. Before I even knew about this article, I heard a lot about this. And so, yeah, I have a few things to say once we get through it.
As we discover in the article, there is a tradition or a cultural practice where dinner is not necessarily offered to guests when visiting the home. In fact, the family may choose to go to another room to eat their dinner and then return to their guest afterwards.
That's, I guess, insane to some people, but I kind of understood it when I first heard about it. Did you understand it?
Well, I have to say it was a surprise because it's very different to my culture. But the more I thought about it, the more I thought, is it respecting boundaries? Is that perhaps the motivation behind it? I definitely didn't agree with the article, the person in the article who said it's because Swedish people are stingy.
Yeah.
I thought that seemed a bit unfair.
Yeah, I don't think I think being stingy and being frugal are different, and I don't know if that's the whole reason for it, at least not from what I found. But when you think of these Scandinavian, Northern European countries, like, what comes to mind?
I like the concept of hygge, which is the art of living in their culture. I've read a book on it, and it's about the sort of simplicity, avoiding stress, having good work-life balance, not over-cluttering your space, simple foods, simple hobbies. Yeah, it seems really appealing to me.
Oh, wonderful, yeah. And that's admirable?
That's very admirable.
That's very admirable, at least in your life.
Is it possible to teach children to be empathetic? If so, how?
I'm often on the fence about being able to teach children anything and being able to teach them almost nothing. However, when it comes to empathy, I'm definitely leaning towards the non-teachable part. And that's because empathy, you must feel. And if you're either unable or, I guess, genetically or raised in a way which you are less able to feel the feelings of another person, then teaching is going to be difficult. However, teaching sympathy, I think that's completely easy to do.
That's an intellectual process, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that's easy, but possible to do. And I think that's something which has not been taught enough in a lot of people I've talked to.
Well, I think it depends how you define the word teach in this question. I think if you're a teacher who offers experiences that sort of guide children or anyone towards an understanding, I think that's a type of teaching. And in that way, yes, you can teach empathy. You can guide them through experiences that will, maybe not everyone, but will arise certain feelings in the children.
Oh, okay. So you have a positive view, even though everyone has a dark inner self.
Oh, yes, we have a dark inner self, and no amount of empathy will help us get rid of that completely. But
it helps, even though. Are you an empathetic person?
Oh, yes, I think so. To a fault, perhaps. Sometimes, you know, when someone else is crying and you don't even know why, and then you start crying?
I don't personally.
Well, you see, sometimes I think empathy can be a bit too far.
It's true. It's like you would want a sympathetic doctor, but not an empathetic one. Like if a doctor's just bawling with you about your diagnosis, you'll be like,
no
you're
use.
the one treating me, bro. Keep it together.
Calm down.
Come on. But yeah. Certain circumstances.
Let's take a look at the vocabulary for today.
Admirable.
Admirable.
Idealized.
Idealized.
Speak up.
Speak up.
Census taker.
Census taker.
Reciprocate.
Reciprocate.